Take two. Just confess when stuff has happened. It wasn't our fault. Zoom just closed us down, you know. I don't know, but I didn't even need to tell people this. I could have just acted as if this was take one, but I will never lie to my subscribers, Jonathan. Folks, thanks for tuning in. My name's Davey. This is Cineflix and Music Picks. I'm your host with most beats release. You know that part. The least we can do, though, is introduce Jonathan. This is Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello.
Jonathan, co-worker, friend, homophobe. Nice. Yes, Johnny and I worked together at a place you might have heard of called Mordor, and I don't work there anymore, so I can say this, and Jonathan has to maintain a dignified silence. But yeah, it was great. You know, we served the Dark Lord Sauron very faithfully, and I was released from his service mutually. Does it count if I'm too paid over to another company, man? Should I still be worried about this? No. Worst things happen at sea. Folks, we're going to do one of these whole video things just so I can file them away into the fucking Narnia that we have over there. And for those of you that have asked for a tour of it, no. I'm not being obtuse about that. It's that I hate the idea of not being able to surprise people when I'm like just reviewing some random movie and they're like, well, we knew you had that. Just feels self-defeating, you know? And when I'm like, hey, I bet you didn't know about it. And I thought, well, we did, because you talked about it in that video where you know. Let's start at the beginning, which is quite unusual for me. Second Sight, the masters of the really, really nice edition of boutique stuff. The Guest, 2015, starring Dan Stevens from your Downton Abbey. Not my Downton Abbey, but your mum's Downton Abbey. It's just upstairs, downstairs, and I watched that, so I really don't need Downton Abbey. But I'm glad it keeps Maggie Smith in nappies. So she's been 100 years old for 100 years, hasn't she? Maggie Smith, yeah. I'm in my prime. With Gene Brody reference for the kids there. Directed by the great Adam Wingard, who definitely directed one of the Monsterverse movies. We're not quite sure if it was Godzilla versus Kong or King of the Monsters, but they both make me so I don't really care. I love them both to bits. As usual from Second Sight, all sorts of extras, including new stuff with cast and crew. It's even got, what's his face, Lance Reddick from The Wire. Remember Cedric Daniels? It's got that great intense voice. McNulty, I will have you off this team. And he was in Godzilla versus Kong. In fact, that's what he must have been. Adam Wingard. He was in Godzilla versus Kong, and he's in the opening credits. And then he's got one line in the movie that is something as generic as like, "Sir, the Muto has landed." He's in the opening credits. Bless him, I love Lance Reddick. But yeah, it's also got nobody of interest. But one of the cool things about this is it's got the soundtrack, which is absolutely sensational synthy stuff. Do you know anything about The Guest, Jenny Boy?
It's the 80s throwback. Guy comes home to a family, claims to have served abroad with their son in the military. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I have, and Johnny's description is 100% accurate, mostly because of take one. Believe me, we only wasted 5 minutes. We haven't done the whole video twice. Should we do that? Should
we might have to.
Just like alternate takes, you know, for the Super Deluxe edition. Yeah, it's just fantastic. It's just a cool cult movie. Again, Second Sight just does so much justice to him in 4K edition with a 150-page book all about the guest. Be my guest, made from real gorilla chest. See the sweater, there's no better than a fancy carry sweater. See this hat, 'twas my cat's. Right, I'm just doing the Mr. Burns version of this. So yes, yeah.
See my loafers,
Former golfers, it was them looking my golfers. Nothing could bring me down after talking about that kind of Simpsons classic. French New Wave Extreme Rape Revenge in the form of Martyrs from Umbrella Entertainment. So I'm going to do the joke, Johnny. The one that made us crack up when I did it the first time, and it was off the cuff, but I'm going to do it now, and let's act like it is completely off the cuff because it cracked us up. It's like Michael Haneke's Funny Games, only it's not all fun and games. Really didn't need to pretend this was a separate take, but I just fucking like weirdness. It comes with a poster, so that if you want to put this up and people say, what kind of stuff are you into? You can point them to your wall and they will leave you alone like people should. And that's an invitation to Cheerioville. I'd like to show you more of this, but unfortunately it's for YouTube. However, it is actually a fantastic movie as much as we're having fun because we're just enjoying each other's company. Nothing wrong with that.
And I think you should put the back of the box quote.
Oh, how could I forget? Back of the box quote is in the interior. So this is from their Beyond Genres series. This is volume 22. I haven't been keeping up myself. Scott Weinberg from fearnet.com. I'm on there all the time.
All the time.
All the time. He says it makes Saw look like Sesame Street. And I don't know about you, but I remember the episode of Sesame Street where Snuffy is brutally raped and goes for revenge. Let's end that conversation there. Oh, bird, I'm so upset. Let's not do this. I'm making myself uncomfortable, and that doesn't happen very often. Again, from Umbrella Entertainment, not even out the box, or out the wrapped in plastic. Little Jack Nance for the kids. Black and White, directed by Craig Live, excuse me, that's his actual name. Starring Robert Carlyle, for it is he, Begbie himself, Charles Dance, for it is he, Elaine Free himself, and of course, Last Action Hero. Remember when he comes into the real world and he can't believe that because he's not in an action movie anymore, people don't turn an eye when he does weird shit. So he's like shooting people. Like, I just killed a man, and I'm not sorry. Oh, I love that movie. Ben Mendelsohn, because it's an Australian film, so Ben Mendelsohn has to be in it, or Toni Collette. That is one of the rules. And David Ngumberjaga. That won't work as well the second time. David, whoever you are, I'm sure you're great in this movie, and I'm looking forward to watching it. It's some kind of courtroom drama, and I can't remember for the life of me why I ordered it. I know he plays an Indigenous man, so that kind of thing interests me, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. Although part of me wishes, just for like modern casting, that Robert Carlyle would be the Indigenous man. And and he could have been the Scottish guy that comes in, and that would have been interesting. Also from Umbrella Entertainment is Uncommon Valor, starring Gene Hackman. My needs are small. Australia. I always love quoting Lex Luthor. Are we going Addis Ababa, Mr. Luthor? But Ned Beatty for the kids again. This is his Behind Enemy Lines movie, which, as we established beforehand, Gene Hackman was in a film called Behind Enemy Lines, but this is like an original where he plays the other part. He plays the Owen Wilson part. whoa, I'm behind enemy lines. This is like crazy. It stars Reb Brown. Everybody, of course, everybody knows him as Captain America from the TV movies from the 1970s. Knows them. I've actually got him as a friend on Facebook. Like my Avengers are like him and Bill Bixby and Nicholas Hammond in Spider-Man. Well, that's my Avengers, you know, the original. Patrick Swayze when he was a young pup. There is something to be said there, but I can't even bother. And Robert Stack, who was in like Dragnet and stuff, and yeah, loads of FBI kind of things. He was just that kind of cop type, you know. Can you really hate? Cutter's Way, starring the great John Herd. People know him as the dad from Home Alone. You shouldn't, because in the early 80s he made some fantastic movies, just like Daniel Stern. Like people know him as like Marv from Home Alone, and it's like, well, have you not seen like Breaking Away and stuff? Like people are great actors. Catherine O'Hara, one of the funniest actresses of our generation, and she's the mum in Home Alone and Beetlejuice. So, oh man, watch A Mighty Wind, watch SCTV. What's the show? Schitt's Creek, you know, like genius actor. Curtis Way, John Herd, and Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges obviously went on to become Oscar winner Jeff Bridges, and you know everybody knows him. But this shows that John Herd was not just his equal, he's better in a lot of ways. And I wish that his career had gone differently. He did have a minor renaissance towards the end. He was in The Sopranos as like the FBI guy who was Tony's Tony's liaison. Woke up this morning, got myself a gun. Well, probably can't even say that anymore, can you? It's political correctness gone mad. Pickpocket. Not a documentary about the royal family, but it's been a week, it's okay. A film by the great Robert Bresson, one of his most admired, intriguing, and influential films. You know, but no, so this is a film like a lot of his are about real morality, and I mean that in a sincere way. Where like we'd actually got a lot out of this film, like it's like you know those modern films that come out, we just like. What were you actually saying in that? What was the message? What was the, you know, Robert Bresson was a master of, no, this is, I don't care if it's preachy, this is going to, not like Bicycle Thieves in Italy. You know, it's like, no, you're going to feel something here and you're going to be a better person for doing so. So, yeah, contains scene of criminal activity according to the BFI. So,
and that PG sticker.
So, that pickpocket, believe it or not, is breaking the law. I know, I thought it was legal here as well, Johnny. But hey, next up is Zone Troopers. Did they come to end the war or start one? This is fucking nuts. Even for the kind of stuff that I usually watch, this is nuts. If Trauma made a World War II movie, it would be this. The Allies are fighting the Germans, and then aliens land in the middle. I'm making this up. Aliens land in the middle, and they have to go between them and decide which side they want to join. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. But let's just say the Germans don't put up a very good defense for themselves. You declared war on who? The world. They tried it twice, Johnny. They thought they could pull that shit twice. Fucking hell. My thing is, if you try to declare war on the world once, learn your lesson if it doesn't work out. Look at that for an original cover. I want you. You know, they're doing the old poster, the Uncle Sam, isn't it? You know, yeah, we've got Lord Kitchener over here. They take war to a new dimension. No, they don't. But it's a nice pun anyway. But that's a lovely painted cover. It reminds me of the old Commando comics you used to see.
Yeah, I would buy that based on the cover.
Yeah, and if somebody said to you, if Trauma made a World War II movie, like, I'd be like, how much? How much? Back to our French friend, Robert Bresson. Hasard Balthazar, frequently lists the greatest films ever made, but by gosh, does this deserve it? It's the story of a little donkey, but it's about pure empathy, and it's not about a donkey. Jaws isn't about a shark. It's about what it does to the people that interact with it. What does that tell us about their humanity? And Balthazar is the name of the donkey. About Balthazar Getty from Lost Highway. So yeah, have you seen or heard of? No. Another great morality tale from Robert Bresson. Just again from Criterion, this one. So yeah. So it must be better than any other movie because it's got a C in the corner. Remember,
what spine number is it?
It's spine number 297, Jonathan.
Oh,
I'll swap you my Eric Cantona for your Alex Ferguson shiny. Nobody from the UK isn't going to understand that. This is us, Johnny Boy. We're No Angels, starring Humphrey Bogart, Aldo Ray, and Peter Ustinov before he was doing fucking ITV audience with. They remade this with Robert De Niro and Sean Penn. I mean, I love De Niro, but come on, like, Sean Penn doing that kind of stuff. I mean, okay, maybe when he was Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but at this point, well, not this point, but at that point in his career, like when he was trying, after Casualties of War, people weren't really up for like, it's a fun knockabout, like we're pretending to be priests. Maybe. Anyway, it's a real fun time. Bogart in an out-and-out comedy, and I just love Bogey anyway. Leo G. Carroll's in here. Basil Rathbone, one of the definitive Sherlock Holmes, of course, and also the sheriff of Nottingham from the Errol Flynn Robin Hood. I want to see the sheriff or Prince John. Either way, I'm not terribly fussed. And Joan Bennett, the great film noir actress and matriarch from the television soap opera of the 1960s, Dark Shadows. Just full of interest in trivia. And directed by Michael Curtiz, who of course directed Casablanca. So a bit of a Bogart connection there. And also Passage to Marseille with Humphrey Bogart. Pink Flamingos. John Waters classic. First movie. My goodness, talk about ones I'm going to have to double check the content of straight away. You've seen Pink Flamingos. Yes. I don't even need to ask. How good is this cover? First of all,
flawless.
There is Glenn as Divine, one of the great creations, and I love that when you fold it out, it's treated as if it's an art exhibit, and you get the full wrap around there with a little thing to say, as if you're going to, here's the explanation for it, and you get the booklet is done as a newspaper celebrating the kind of filth, exclusive photos of Divine, the filthiest person alive. A masterpiece from John Waters in pure excess filth, but always with so much warmth and heart. He genuinely loves weirdness, and that's why I genuinely love John Waters. There's nothing fake about John Waters at all. Preaching at the choir. I mean, if you don't know Pink Flamingos, there's probably a reason why you don't, and you won't like it. But if you like these oddball movies, cult movies, it still might be a bit far for you. I mean, trigger warning: Divine literally eats dog shit. That's not not to sell it as just pure shock. There's actually just some hilarious stuff in it. I mean, who can forget Divine's? What's your political philosophy? Kill everyone now. Oh, I miss Divine so much. Pinky and the Brain, The Brain, 1980s schlock B movie, sci-fi horror from '88, starring what's his face, David Gale, who was the co-lead in Reanimator, the guy who wasn't Jeffrey Combs, Dan in Reanimator. When Herbert puts his accidentally, the cat's dead and Herbert puts it in the fridge, and then Dan opens the fridge and he's raging. He asks Herbert, "Why didn't you leave a note?" "And what would you like it to say, Dan?" "Cat dead, explain later." It describes it really well here for a change. Imagine a pulsating mass of grey matter expanding in size and strength as it takes control of human minds and devours human bodies. It could never happen, right? And it just goes into pure B-movie schlock territory, but not in the same way that the Blob does or The Stuff, if you've seen The Stuff. Because it isn't as good as them, actually. Just because I own it, I'm not going to shell for it. So actually, 101 Films, you should be ashamed of yourself for releasing this crap. Unless you want to send me promos like some of the other nice companies. Again, they've done a terrific job with the extras here. 3 commentaries, for goodness sake. Loads of interviews. Mostly because the actors are unemployable these days. Absolutely tons on it. That is pure video shop stuff, isn't it? But, I don't think we're selling these movies as well as some of the companies would if they were us. But Sweetie, you won't believe it. Anybody want some zombie horror from Kazakhstan?
Yes, please.
There you go. It's a zombie horror from Kazakhstan, folks. As if there's anything more to add to that. And that is one that I almost bought just to support the idea of releasing that kind of film. Even if that isn't 100% your bag, it's like, yeah, but something else, if you take a chance and stuff like that, if they keep going in these directions, we'll just click you. So you have to support weirdness, Don't give your money to Disney, Too Many Secrets. This is a documentary about the royal family. Yeah. You wouldn't know from looking at it, but this is actually Sneakers, which talk about casts. I remember this video cover from the 90s.
Yeah.
Now, here's this for a cast. Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, Mary McDonnell, River Phoenix. Where's he been the last 3 years? Sidney Poitier. Where's he been the last 3 years? David Strathairn. It's an early 90s hacker movie. I did rate this from the video shop quite a bit. I remember loving it. And just in the same cast. Who would put Dan Aykroyd and River Phoenix together as a pair of computer hacking geeks? Wow. Fantastic. And the wonderful folks at Memoria have released this new audio commentary with Simon Brew and James Moran, interview with the writer-director, audio commentary by Priscilla Page. I was so close to saying Priscilla Presley there. So close. Audio commentary with Phil Alden Robinson, and the 1992 theatrical trailer. Yeah, so this is a real fun movie if you like your over the top kind of fun spy things. But what was the one with Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller from the mid-90s? Hackers? Yeah. Sneakers and Hackers.
Hack the planet.
Of course, the thing about Sneakers is used to be called Marathon.
Oh, God.
You have to work on that a little bit. And by the way, we're past the take two part, so that was spontaneous. Mesmerizing and meditative. Starring Tilda Swinton. This is Memoria, which was put out by a relatively fresh label, I want to say, Sovereign Films. I love the BBFC's description. Please read that.
Contains unsettling scenes.
What does that mean? I find unsettling scenes in every movie that's like in the cinema. Like Transformers is an unsettling scene, after unsettling scene, Yeah, this is like a moody contemplative drama about depression, but it's shot really well and it had a very limited theatrical release. It's one that you need to watch about 18 times to understand half of it. And I've only watched it twice, so I'm still quite lost. But that way, and it's very rewarding when it happens. Something's happening, and you know that you want to keep digging. There's nice booklet and things. With there's your director there. With another name that I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher people's names. However you pronounce it, you made a wonderful film, and I like you. And believe me, you've heard what I've said about other people. Fucking hell. I made a joke about River Phoenix and his fucking overdose. He told me to see that one, though. I love River Phoenix. Joaquin, if you're watching, one of the classics of film as documentary, Battle of Algiers. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like okay, you've done your first semester of film school. We're moving into okay, so you've done your Citizen Kane and your Serge Eisenstein. We're moving on to Battle of Algiers, but again, put out by was this Cult Films who put this out? Yeah, and loads of extras, making of, interview with the producer, restoration process. Ken Loach does an interview on it. Well, it was all right, but I don't think it really compares to some of the struggles of the working class Londoner. Even though I'm talking like a northerner. Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner that I love the Battle of Algiers. Have a banana. One of the most remarkable films of all time, says the hype quote. And actually, for a change, they ain't underselling or overselling these things. It is a remarkable achievement in filmmaking and brutally blunt about war, how it affects people, and it ends with a title card that says Finn.
That's how you know it's art.
Yes, that's how you know. Why is this not in the Criterion collection? What's the spine number? What's your favorite part of Jaws 4?
Probably the grief dance.
Grief dance with Michael Caine. He doesn't do one in this stuff. Get Carter, now on 4K. A newly recorded introduction by Michael Caine, but it's 3 minutes long. And if you've heard some of the things he said in interviews in recent years, that's 3 minutes too long. I don't recognise London anymore. Well, because you've lived overseas. Oh my goodness, there's immigrants here now. The street I grew up, I can't recognise anybody here. They're dead, Michael. Audio commentary with Mike Hodges, Michael Caine, and Wolfgang says audio commentary with the great Kim Newman, one of my favourite film critics and commentators, and I've loved his stuff since reading Empire in the early mid-90s when it was good and stopped being just like, hey Disney, we love you. And Barry Forshaw. The BFI. too many extras to go through, but yeah, wow. Ian Hendry's, of course, in it, directed by Mike Hedges again. Brett Eklund's in here, so she isn't very good because she's Brett Eklund. Oh, I'm quite savage when it comes to these. You know, if you let us down, fucking hell, he keeps popping up, doesn't he? Robert Bresson's back, folks. La Joan, which, if you remember your French from school, unless you did Spanish, in which case you wouldn't remember it. Yeah, it's money in France. So this is an indictment of capitalism, which which is also about the royal family. Yeah, I mean it's based on a Tolstoy novella, which again is just film school 101. So what's that? Robert Bresson's doing an adaptation of Tolstoy. From who did this one? BFI. Okay, same kind of stuff. On stage discussion about it with Jonathan Hurgan and Nazreen Mouni Kabir. I'm doing a kind of appraisal of his oeuvre en français. First and last, film scholar Jonathan Hurgan. Yeah, you were on the last special feature, Jonathan. Stop hogging it. Former assistant to Robert Bresson. Okay, fair enough. Compares the director's first feature, Les Anges aux Pêches, with his last, L'Argent. Michael Brook considers Bresson's late masterpiece in a new video essay. Michael Brook's really great. One of the real, if you want to talk Eastern European cinema, Polish cinema, Czech cinema, Michael Brook is your guy. This is French though, but no, he knows cinema overall. He's some man for the one man. Do you want to guess who directed the next one, Johnny? I'll give you a clue. It's not Michael Bay. Robert Bresson did his version of the Joan of Arc story. So, you know, just like Passion of Joan of Arc. Remember Mila Jovovich did one?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Jeez Louise, going from like one of the great silent films of all time in The Passion of Joan of Arc to, we should do that with Mila Jovovich. She was great in it, Fifth Element. Everybody's obnoxious. I really don't think I need to explain the story of Joan of Arc. But no, it's a terrific. Come on, it's great to be one of the greats of not just French cinema, but cinema in general. Jeff Andrew, another great programmer of film at the BFI, does a half-hour talk about it. Kat Ellinger does a commentary on it. She's one of the best commentators in business. Women's Work in Wartime, a propaganda short looking at acceptable roles for women at a time for war. One great thing about the BFI is they always use their archives to find short films and things and put them on their releases, just even if they're not connected with the movie, just thematically. So I think we're out of Bresson. We're all out of Bresson. Beware, my brethren, starring Patrick McGee, the great Patrick McGee from Clockwork Orange. Try the wine. It was my wife's. They prey on women. So not a romantic comedy, folks. It is Robert Hartford Davis. There's a bit of an exploitation kind of horror guy. Did the Black Torment and things. It's a British film, but it is quite a dark one even by that standards. Again, Patrick McGee was in The Skull and Tales from the Crypt, I think, or one of the actors movies like that. Yes, The Blind Man. Never mind. Never mind. This video's weird even for me. This is your fault. Audio commentary with Troy Holworth, another great commentator, and Sam Dagan, another great commentator. Limited edition slipcase. Well, okay, nice enough, but come on, am I ever going to buy a film just to get a limited edition slipcase? Maybe. But yeah, no, again, kind of old school British schlocky horror picture show. You know, yeah, I'm on board. Double dip because it's now 4K. One of Joe Dante's first big one. Oh my god, he's in this as well. The Howling, one often unfavorably compared to American Werewolf in London, I think unfairly, because this is also a fantastic film. Stars Dee Wallace, the mother from every 80s movie, like E.T. and fucking hell, she was everywhere. And Patrick McNee. That was Patrick McGee, right? You need to follow it. Patrick McGee. This is Patrick McNee. This is John Steed from the Avengers, but not the Ray Fine. What can you explain this? Well, yeah, terrific special effects by Rob Bottin, who did The Thing, Fog, Total Recall, designed RoboCop. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen The Howling.
Yes.
Have you seen The Howling 2?
I have not.
The Howling 2, I swear to God, the subtitle of it is Your Sister's a Werewolf. And it stars Christopher Lee wearing like 80s sunglasses, and it's brilliant. So, Jonathan mentioned beforehand he has watched a recent project that Ryan and I have worked on. I say Ryan and I. Ryan has worked on, and he has made a beautiful dinner, and I have come along with salt and pepper and just seasoned it a little bit. On George's Revenge. I'll put a link in the description below. Watch it or don't, I suppose. It was going to be rude there, and I thought this about please watch it. It's Ryan. I really want to support Ryan. I don't mind if you don't support me, but I love Ryan a bit, so let's support him. So we did Jaws 4, George's Revenge, starring Michael Caine in the Grave Dance. This is Jaws 5. Now, there is no Jaws 5. This is a fake film. Directed by Bruno Mattei. Italian exploitation bullshits where they take American films, and because of very loose copyright laws in the 70s and 80s in Italy, they actually use scenes of the Jaws films, and they somehow get away with this shit. Sound effects from Star Wars, and made a Jaws film and called it Cruel Jaws, and then released it in Italy, probably Australia too, as Cruel Jaws, but Jaws 5. So this time I think you do want the slipcover because you want that Jaws 5 inclusion, because it isn't just on the regular edition. And unfortunately, he's not on the cover, but there's a guy in this that I swear to God is Hulk Hogan. It is just Hulk Hogan. And I can't remember who I was talking to about it. In fact, no, I do know it was Craig Kaminsky from the Monsters Den. And we were just laughing about how much we would love to see just that actual movie of, never mind Roy Scheider, Hulk Hogan versus Jaws. I'm going to go back on the beach, brother. Ooh, I was going to make a Hulk Hogan, really. You know the kind of reference I was going to make there. And it ain't about his wrestling ability. The undeniable weight of massive talent starring Nicolas Cage. One of the most fun, schlocky, nonsense films of the past few years. Have you seen it yet?
Yes, watched it quite recently.
Tell us your thoughts.
It was really good fun. Really good fun. Yeah, it's not clever, but it just really doesn't need to be.
Yes, exactly. And this steelbook, which I had to go for, uses pictures of Nicolas Cage from all his different films, which you could raise in Arizona, you could con it, put the bunny back in the box. My dad is coming home for good, coming home forever. Oh, stewardess, what's on the menu today? Well, Cyrus, I think you're gonna like it. It's called No More Steak for Me, ever. Oh, nothing makes me sadder than the agent lost his bladder on the airplane. That was my review of Con Air. No, this is, as Johnny said, a fantastically entertaining film that takes the idea of Nicolas Cage as this kind of figure of fun that he's really into these days. But actually, I think he's still fucking terrific with Mandy. Oh, Mandy. Color Out of Space. Prisoners of the Wasteland. Nah, well, never mind that one. Yeah. I'm glad that he's making all these weirdo movies. Not the way Bruce Willis is, because we can't make fun of him anymore because it's he's actually now he's got dementia or something. Yeah. The thing is, Bruce Willis has been so lazy for the past 25 years that nobody actually noticed that he had dementia. That's when you know that you've probably just been phoning in for a while, because people genuinely didn't know Bruce Willis has been having really bad brain issues. And it didn't show because he's just been that fucking lazy on cinema. Wow. Yippee-ki-yay. What's Alan Rickman been up to? We can't keep that joke. Not the Alan, I love him too much. I mean, I hate Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I really hate that film. I think it's, you can't tell me. It's not worth it. Clear your throat, Brian. It's not worth it. And cancel Christmas. You even looked at me the wrong way, Potter. Now through out that fucking window. It's Alan Rickman. It's very good. Buffalo, Dog Soldiers in Heartland of America. Dog Soldiers by Neil Marshall, one of the great promising directors of the early 2000s who went on to direct some real crap, to be honest. But he did this and The Descent, which was great. And he did, what was the one where it was like a contagion and everybody had to be kept in Scotland? Doomsday? Yeah. Contagion, kept in Scotland. Just sounds like a Tory wet dream, doesn't it? Another werewolf movie set in the Scottish Highlands. Bunch of British squaddies are up there doing some training and shit goes down. 4K edition again from Second Sight. They just don't do anything by half. I mean, you get... Look at that for a book just about dog soldiers. Just about dog soldiers. You get a proper book. I swear to God, The Great Gatsby is not the size of that book. It really isn't. All sorts of extras here. New restoration, 4K and Blu-ray. Neil Marshall does a commentary. The producers, writer, 40-minute interview with Neil Marshall. I always love those, do you think? Could you not have said it in the commentary? Come on. God, I've got a cheat on people going on too much. Video essay by blah, blah, blah. Making of Dog Soldiers with Neil Marshall. Fucking hell, Neil. You say it best when you say nothing at all. Tarantino's got that thing where he likes his films to speak for himself, and so does Woody Allen. It's like, Jesus Christ, Neil Marshall's everywhere on this. Gag rule with Neil Marshall. A short film by Neil Marshall. He is a good director. He actually directed a lot of the more popular episodes of Game of Thrones when they wanted like more action kind of guy. He did. Did you watch Game of Thrones when it was on?
I did not know.
No, he did the Battle of Evermore. It's a Led Zeppelin song. But he did the Battle of Blackwater. It's a Doobie Brothers song. Green Water. Maybe it is called Blackwater. That sounds Game of Thrones-y. Fuck it. Blackwater. He did a great episode that was really well directed. Hey, pays the bills. Folks, we're nearly done. Thank God for you. Have you seen this yet?
Yes.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Starring Michelle Yeoh. She is Michelle Wow to me. I adore Michelle Yeoh. Have done since Police Story 3 Super Cop with Jackie Chan, Crouching Tiger, obviously, Tomorrow Never Dies, Yeah, and right through, even to this day, she's Philippa Georgiou in Star Trek Discovery. One of the few watchable things in the early Discovery. Although I like the last couple of seasons, but the early stuff, Jesus, fun. Yeah, this is a German media book edition because it hasn't been released physically in the UK. But it's English friendly. Like the SMP. They are. I'm just acting like one of them. If you haven't seen this, I would describe it as I would describe this as do you remember the Doctor Strange film that came out this year? Imagine that was good.
Imagine that actually had some multiverse in
it. Had some proper multiverses that didn't just seem like, well, this is the kind of shit you see in these movies anyway, because they just like make the sky go dark. And this actually takes you into some real different realities and makes you work. And yeah, is there some bonkers crazy shit in it? Yes. I like to think this is what Douglas Adams would have done. It does have that kind of scuzzy weirdness about it, you know, like you can imagine stuff in this, like the hyperdrive in the starship in Hitchhikers, where every time they jump, they turn into something weird halfway through. What's it called again? Well, we both know what we're talking about anyway. Let's see. What's the best? We'll do this because it's not very entertaining for anybody. Roger Livesey, with a very young Petula Clark and a very young Anthony Newley, British film, vice versa. Cool 1940s, directed by Peter Ustinov. We just saw him in We're No Angels with Humphrey Bogart a few minutes ago. Roger Livesey, if you don't know the name, was the star of The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp by the Archers, Pearl and Pressburger, and also the lawyer, if you will, in A Matter of Life and Death by Pearl and Pressburger. And he was in I Know Where I'm Going by Pearl and Pressburger. I think I liked him. But yeah, one of the great actors of his time. Yeah, I'm not even going to ask if you've seen them because this is the kind of thing that will pop up on like talking pictures at like 2 in the afternoon, and you might have seen it, but it won't have, you know.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, and I always like to support Network because they release fantastic British movies. So. What's to go with next? Oh wow, we should have had this earlier. Nick Cage, how's that for a cast? So you have a 3 ages of Lynch connection. So you've got Nicolas Cage from Wild at Heart, obviously, Dennis Hopper from Blue Velvet, and Larry Flynn Boyle from Twin Peaks. And all absolutely sensational, and a very great 90s noir directed by John Dow, who, kind of bottomed out a little bit. He ended up directing Rounders, and he's done some stuff in the 21st century, but Rounders, I just remember the trailer and thinking, I mean, I just did a whole bit of John Malkovich, but he did John Malkovich doing the Russian accent, going, let's play some cards. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole feature here called Caged In. Host Petros Pastelvas talks about Nicolas Cage's erratic performance. Now, I don't even know if that means in this film or not. It's got a poster, it's got a booklet by Ian Schultz, it's terrific. Audio commentary with John Dow, new interview with John Dow. I'll let him away with it because he might need to apologise for some of his late career choices. A new interview with the editor, Dale Gibson, one of the actors, but not one of the famous ones. Sorry, Dale, but it's true. Come on, you're not even Lara Flynn Boyle, Dale. Come on. What's Dennis Hopper been up to recently? You're so great, how come you're so dead? And then we'll finish with somebody very close to my heart, Mr. Buster Keaton, the sap head. One of his greats, one of his first features. Came out in 1920, I want to say. Yes, 1920. Eureka have put together, can you look at all that? It's just the extras. Just the extras for one Buster Keaton. Brand new score, brand new audio commentary, brand new essay, a complete alternate version. They did the film twice, and you get the complete film separately. A featurette comparing the two versions. Buster Keaton in his last film role as a janitor, something called The Scribe, an unheard audio commentary from The Scribe, recorded by a director called Joan, who did it in the 60s, who died in 2015, so quite a coup to get him back for this. Buster Keaton in conversation. Again, how did they do it? Oh, wait, no, it continues on to the next line. Recorded in 1964, a 2-hour audio interview with Buster Keaton. Audio, that me, Jesus. I mean, you're talking, listening to Buster Keaton talk his career for 2 hours. Why are we sitting doing this? Torgen Youngsted. Oh, I like to pronounce that there. I was with authority. Torgen Youngsted in conversation with Keaton. Buster, I'm presuming. It just says Keaton, but could be Michael. A collector's booklet and an appreciation by Ellen Whitfield. 84 minutes long and from Eureka. And suitable for all. So that means you must watch it. By God, we have talked a lot. No.
Well, you have.
Oh, yeah, well, you're a guest. Add on some thoughts. Just give us some recommendations.
I mean, I think my biggest recommendation that your postman gets a new route. I feel sorry for the guy.
This is like a month and a half still, because I knew you was coming. Anything you've picked up recently?
I think the only 2 films I've really watched recently are in this pile.
Everything Everywhere.
Everything Everywhere.
And the importance of being Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
I'll never remember that title. Folks, this has been self-indulgent even by my standards. It's all going to come crashing down around me here. Well, you can even see it here. Let's just let it happen. I'm going to lift my arm in 3, 2, 1. Jonathan is a wonderful person. I can't recommend his YouTube channel though, because as we discussed a few minutes or hours or years ago, he just does very short videos of him playing Gran Turismo.
Yeah, please don't go hunt now. It's really,
it's not worth it. You won't find him anyway. Usernames.
As I said today, there's no reason other than laziness that those videos are not just set to private.
Yeah. But I recommend him as a person. Should you move to Glasgow, befriend Johnny Boy, and if you haven't moved to Glasgow yet, why not? Please leave a comment. Speaking of which, comments, suggestions, complaints, definitely complaints. Please send them to Rev JT. We're going to end this before it ends us. Folks, thanks for watching. It end these things. Stay safe out there. Love and mercy. Come up with a sign off yourself.
Bye.
The classics are the best. Zone Lady's going to tell us the recording's over now. You won't hear her though, but you'll know it because the video will have ended. I love you.